welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're going to mash up two bracelets. But first, like before, I have to figure out how long the whole thing is going to be. So to do that, I am using a bracelet that's already been made and comparing that to my graph paper so I can find out where the beginning, middle, and end will be at. Once I've done that, I kind of clear out some of the excessive stuff so that way that's out of the way. And I crop it down to size because that will help free up some of the resources on my computer. Alright, so now let's get at it. So we're meshing together these two different bracelets. It's 43392 and 48740. Those are the two that we are doing. And you'll see, I want to crop out the image of it and bring that over to my work area. And when I paste it, it's tiny. So I have to, well, first I rotate it so it's going up and down as opposed to sideways. And so I rotate it by 90 degrees and then I use the enlarge tool to blow it up. And it'll just make it easier for me to see what I'm doing, all right? Now this is a fun pattern, I like it. But you'll see later on too, I kind of make a little adjustment to it for how it starts because I kind of like my bracelet starting out nice and sweet. I mean, I guess I don't have to do it. I don't know why. I just like it better my way. So yeah. And here I'm going to crop out the second pattern. And you can see these are both patterns that you would think that I would use as like towards the ends of the bracelet with more of a jewel thing in the center. But that's what I thought would be fun for today's video, would be to mash these two kind of bracelets, the kind that just seem like maybe they wouldn't go together. And it turns out it's pretty cool looking. So yeah, I'm trying to show you guys some alternatives, give you guys some inspiration, maybe you try some things that, you know, you've never tried before, right? And mind you, that second bracelet, if I'm not mistaken, it's only like a 4-color bracelet, and then we're going to be using 6 colors. So how does that work out? Well, it turns out that some of the colors were hiding underneath and not necessary in the 4-color bracelet. So it works out relatively perfectly. So yeah, this is pretty neat. So you can see I start out with red, as I typically always do. And I start out with the whole chevron, as opposed to just going into that other design. I'll add that sort of further down the line. And I've decided that the red is going to stay on the outside, much like it does on that first pattern there, the 43392. And then, yeah, notice I had to kind of check it out and see how this actually lays out. So, oh, and this is not sped up, by the way. This is actually real time. I'm actually showing you my process in real time. So, yeah, you can tell I'm kind of took a moment, maybe took a drink, tried to work it out. And then, yeah, we're going to go through and use the rainbow again. And mind you, when I make this bracelet, it will not be with the rainbow of colors. It will be something else. I'm kind of leaning towards the idea of some of the colors in a fade and then a couple other colors to kind of jump out of it. I haven't quite decided yet what they will be, but yeah, it'll be something fun. So you can see now I'm going through how that design goes. So it's really just like a series of just single dots going along, and then in the center there's something else kind of happening. So you'll see it here as it makes the diamonds. There's a place where there's like a relief where the diamond isn't at, and that little spot off to the side gets the other color as well. So yeah, my thought is maybe do the red, orange, yellow in a fade, and then maybe the green and blue into something else. You can see I zoomed out there for a second because I was trying to get a feel for like how far down was I going to come with it. Mind you, I can change this at any point. I could bring it almost to the dead center if I wanted to. that decision is entirely up to you. You can kind of figure this out as you go along, or plan it out in a different way if you like. Mind you too, because I'm using really thick string, the length of my bracelets might be different than if you were trying to make the same pattern with, say, a DMC or something that's a little bit smaller. So just a heads up there. So yeah, you can see I decided I would just go with one more set of the greens, and there's a whole lot of like little planning that kind of comes up here sort of after this. Like I have to try to figure out like how the colors of the other one, because again, I'm not using the pink and those, so I'm just kind of going off of the design itself with a different set of colors. So you can see I'm kind of adding these in. And one of the things too is to figuring out like where the strings are, because that's essentially kind of becomes relatively important with this as well. Because as you can see here, I've only used 5 of the colors, right? There's still a purple to go. And I kind of wanted to have that 6th color to come in and become something cool. So you can see here where the diamond is on the right hand pattern with the hot pink. I'm doing that in the green. So now the green is just extending out even more, which means if you're going to make this, whatever color you use to replace that green with, you are going to want to make sure that that's a very nice long string, because it is getting used all the way through this whole bracelet. So that's going to be really, really important for you. Hopefully, hopefully you don't struggle with that one. And then yeah, so then I have to figure out like where do these other diamonds come from, because there's something kind of neat going on with the way the green on that outer one, the 48740, comes out. So I decided that where it is in conjunction with the other is kind of coincides with the yellow. And you can see here I'm only going to the halfway point, because again, we're going to copy and flip this whole thing over. It's a huge time saver. It really works out, and that way the bracelet comes out really cool and symmetrical. And so yeah, bringing the yellows in, you can kind of see that other shape has taken place. Now it's a question of what about, what goes on that outside part. And I end up using the red for that, so that's pretty neat. So the red kind of gets used a lot, except for it's nowhere near as much as the green. Honestly, it just isn't. The green is the big one. And then you can see here I'm kind of going through, I'm trying to figure out like where the other colors are and where is the purple going to come out. And so rather than trying to guess and really kind of mess up what I've got going, I sort out the whole pattern by putting in the background strings. Then I can actually find. And again, this is one of those cases of work with what you know. The red stays off to the side. This is an easy way of doing it. And yeah, and I'll go through the rest of these colors. It's a little bit of a tedious process at this point, but it eliminates the chances of really making a mistake. And as a result, I think the end result is going to come out really, really cool for this. So my plan is I'm going to actually make this bracelet in a live stream on Saturday, Singapore time at 10 p.m. And it's not my favorite kind. I don't usually do these ones where like a single knot kind of zigzags back and forth. It's a bit more tedious. It's a bit more whatever. But I want to see the bracelet. I want to share it with you guys. I want you guys to be inspired. So yeah, let's do that. And again, like I said, I'm not going to do it in rainbow. As cool as it is, I really think I can do something really fun with this. So yeah, I kind of have to parse out the colors down to, you know, the orange, the red, the yellow. And you see I'm leaving the end part there. I'm like, okay, I don't want to kind of spoil it and try to jump the gun and whatever. If I get all these other colors in place, I can see what I have to work with, and then from there I can kind of sort out what it's going to do. So and I think this kind of shows that even though the bracelets themselves are completely different and different number of colors in them, we can still work them out into patterns that are just different. It makes it more interesting. In fact, we could have actually meshed these two together where it goes back and forth between the two. I think that would be interesting as well. So if you're interested in stuff like that, you're not sure what I'm talking about, you want me to try it, I can make that as a video as well. But yeah, you can mix up different things together to make something new, make it your own. And you can see too where the middle comes in. It's going to make this bracelet a little bit different right in the center. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that one turns out. And by right, I suppose I could have actually have elongated the bracelet by another set to have had that where the diamond goes into like an extra little spot. I could have added an extra row and it wouldn't have made the bracelet so much longer that it was a problem or anything, but I kind of didn't see a reason to. I thought keeping it interesting and keeping it to size was fun. Again, I'm giving you possibilities to change these up to make it your own. It's yeah, following the green down. Can't believe I missed those couple of yellows. Like that seems like really obvious now, but yeah. Mind you too, I have to record the voice afterwards because of where the camera is and where I sit at the computer when I'm actually making the patterns. So I haven't worked that one out yet. In time, I hope to be able to actually record my voice at the same time as actually painting these things in. Well, I'm a little bit not sure how that would work because I'm so focused on the pattern and the knots that I typically really quiet, really focused on my thing. So we'll see. It's a matter of time before I try something different. And you can see I'm trying to sort out like what's left. It's kind of fun. And you can see too, I figured out that like there's only a limited possibility of what goes on over in that corner. So worked out that the red has to kind of close in up there. And now I have to work out where the blue goes. And it's a little bit obvious, but it also makes it a little bit easier having everything else sort of filled in to be able to tell exactly where it had to go. And it seems to me like the center of this bracelet, without having made this yet, that the center area is going to be easier than the outer bit, just because there's a little bit more knots going in, a little bit more form happening. So yeah, kind of foreseeing what I'm going to have to work with. So that's kind of neat. See, there we go, finally getting those yellows worked out. There's still one I saw up there. So and again, I haven't quite figured out what's going on. So now work the purple in the one row that's left. Now, normally this could have been a string that maybe doesn't do anything. But as I see it, it's an opportunity to introduce a color that maybe only shows up in the middle. So that's kind of neat. And in fact, that's what I end up doing. So yeah, it's not just neat, it's what I do. And you can see it just kind of runs inside of there next to the yellow. And the fact that it came out down here was sort of perfect. Like I could see kind of filling in this area with this other color. I'm like, perfect. Like it's nowhere else in the bracelet, and it's just going to come along and do this, and then be up in the center. And again, that if unfortunately you can't see the pattern on the far side, it's in the place of where the white would be. And to be honest, I'm kind of thinking that might be a cool. There you go. It might be kind of cool to actually make that the color white, because that would kind of be really a brighter color to use with maybe a fade of blues or something. So yeah. And you can see I can follow it all the way down because it has a real limited space of where it can go. You know, it's staying inside those little spaces in between. And then it was a case of what's going to go on the outside, right? So obviously I could have used the orange or the red, but seeing as how the red had been on the outside already, that's what I kind of leaned towards. Now on the other one, it's black, right? But here, using the red, that just seems to work out really easy. And yeah, following its path down, again, that was super easy. It's just the simple set of knots. Mind you, I am considering this to be a advanced project. This is would have been harder per se to figure it out on your own. But the pattern and to making up the pattern, like actually making the bracelet, you're gonna kind of want to know what you're doing. You're gonna want to have your tensions and stuff. So this is fairly advanced, but it's cool looking. It really, I'm really excited to make this one. I would probably be making it now, if not for the fact that I actually want to do it in a live stream. I did one last week, and kind of got good reviews on that. So a lot of people enjoyed the live stream with it. So yeah, I want to try that one again, and we'll wait on the big projects until after the little ones get made. So you can see I'm just following the last of the colors down, seeing where they go. That way when I copy and paste the two pieces together, it all comes together, and I can use it as a guide as I make this thing. The pattern is available over on my website, AKAAWOL.com. You're welcome to go over there and try this one out for yourself. Um, yeah. Oh, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for helping me to make this kind of content. I really couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you so much. So here we go. This is like the last string to come down. And that's it. That is the whole pattern. So now the trick is to copy this top part, line it up with that middle line there, copy it and flip it over, and there it goes, and then slide that down until the two sides match up, and that's it. That's your whole pattern for you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and got something from it. Hopefully you're even inspired to try some yourself. If you do make it, be sure to tag me or send it over on Discord. I'd love to see what you're making. And yeah, I'll share it with everybody else as well. So, all right. Well, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.